Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for investing your time in our panel, Generating Positive Impact with Blockchain-Powered Philanthropy. My name is Elizabeth Lee from Binance Charity, the moderator of this panel. And today we're honored to have three great panelists, Alex, Mai, and Sean, join the session with me. So let's just get straightforward to that. So how about we take a few minutes for each of the panelists to tell us a little bit about their background and how they involved in the blockchain-powered philanthropy. Alex, how about we start from you?
Sure. Thanks, Elizabeth, and thanks for having me today. So I'm Alex Wilson. I'm one of the co-founders of the Giving Block. And as a quick background, the Giving Block, helps nonprofits get set up to accept cryptocurrencies in a really easy way. Especially when we saw the big bull market of 2017 and going into 2018, noticed there was a lot of people who wanted to donate crypto, but not a lot of easy ways to do that. So we really focused on creating the first, user-friendly way for a nonprofit to be able to accept crypto and for users to be able to donate in a tax-efficient way. And now, we're kind of on track to help most of the world's major nonprofits get set up to accept crypto. So thanks for having me.
Cool. And Mai, how about you?
Yeah, sure. And thank you, Elizabeth. And happy third anniversary to dear Binance team. And really nice to meet you, everyone. I'm Mai. I have been involved in this industry since 2011. I still remember the moment that I received Bitcoin for the first time almost 10 years ago. At that time, I tried to create a donation platform, but I was troubled about global transaction fee and transparency. That was why I immediately fell in love with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is perfectly fit for global donation. After that, I have made some educational content for teaching people what Bitcoin means. And finally, I created that crypto donation platform in 1917. And nowadays, I'm also working with the Binance Charity Foundation team for Crypto Against the COVID campaign. So thank you for having me. This title and contents of this session is exactly what I want to share with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mai. And Sean, could you also tell a little bit more about yourself and how you involved in this industry?
Okay, hello everybody. Yeah, and thanks for having me join this panel. So my name is Sean. I'm the regional director for Mercy Corps, which is an international NGO, and I take care of the Africa region, where we have programs across 17 countries in Africa, and a good number of those are working obviously in humanitarian relief and humanitarian development programming. And in fact, we have recently concluded a pilot project with the Blockchain Charity Foundation. So I'm looking forward to sharing a little bit of the learnings from that pilot, which took place in the West Nile region of Uganda.
Cool. Thank you so much. And I see all of you have been involved in this industry for many years. And from a geographical level, like Mai is in Japan, and I know Alex in the US, and Sean have been based in, involved in the Africa for many years. So I'm curious, what kind of trends are you seeing in terms of practical application in the blockchain philanthropy?
Sure. I can start if you'd like, real quick. So I think there's definitely still a good amount of kind of skepticism when it comes to crypto and blockchain in the philanthropy space, just like in other industries. But it seems like there's kind of a tipping point now where people are much more open to blockchain-powered philanthropy. And from our perspective, kind of the first way or the easiest way to introduce nonprofits to blockchain and cryptocurrency is through cryptocurrency donations. It's a relatively easy way to get them more familiar with the technology and start learning about it and get them more comfortable with it. And then once you've kind of introduced them to the basics, then you can start talking to them about different ways to, let's say, more efficiently distribute aid internationally or more transparently distribute aid. There's a lot of different cool use cases, but it's definitely still the early days. But we're hopeful that it's really trending in the right direction. And I think seeing major companies, even like, Facebook coming out with their own cryptocurrency, has been really reassuring for major nonprofits to take a look at blockchain.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Alex. And Mai? Oh, Sean, if you like to jump on this first.
So yeah,
Okay.
can I start? It's okay.
Sure.
Thank you, Sean. And so yeah, so I saw two trends in the blockchain philanthropy. And the first, same as Alex. So first, Bitcoin donation is becoming more popular and widely accepted all over the world. And nowadays, even the United Nations accept crypto donation. And second, not only payment, but also other functions are also becoming popular for philanthropy. For example, smart contract and traceability. And I think BCF's PPE token is a very good example of how blockchain can work for philanthropy.
Thank you, Mai and Sean.
Yeah, and so from Mercy Corps' perspective, I think sort of to Alex's point, we've definitely begun to see an increase, and also ourselves working to understand how to receive, cryptocurrencies as philanthropic donations to the organization and for private giving. But also more importantly for us as sort of an implementing agency, also very interested in understanding how we apply the technology and the opportunities around blockchain enabled tech in our humanitarian programming primarily, and really looking at the power of that technology for cash transfers to allow us to reach vulnerable and poor people with real good transparency, good accountability, good audit trails. So that's sort of the space for us, sort of at least in the implementing side of the technology and the opportunities, and where we see still a lot of space for further innovation, creativity, and use cases.
Yeah, sure. I agree. Thank you very much. And also thank you, Mai, for mentioning Binance Charities PPE. I know from the Pink Care token and to the PPE token, we did a lot of pilot on Explore solution that is both efficient and also compatible for our end beneficiaries. And so I'm curious, what are some of the challenges you are facing in integrating the blockchain into a traditional philanthropy? Maybe we can start from Mai.
So that, yes, so that now still have, so we need to challenge. And so now listen, now, so I feel there are many information gaps between traditional philanthropy organization and the crypto industry. And we need to make them closer. And so from my experience, so Binance Charity wanted to donate by crypto, but the Japanese NPO were not ready to accept donation from crypto. So that's why I organized sessions with non-crypto influencers and crypto influencers. For example, I organized a Zoom session with Helen from Binance Charity and Imai from DP, who are one of the leaders in Japanese social actions industries. I think we need make them more closer. It's very important.
Thank you, Mai. And Alex?
Yeah, sure. So touching on Maya's points, I mean, I think there's a huge educational gap. I mean, the average person still doesn't know too much about cryptocurrency or blockchain. So we spend a lot of time, educating leadership teams at nonprofits to help them understand the basics. I would say one really important thing is, the blockchain industry has a habit of really getting into the weeds when they're explaining blockchain or cryptocurrency. And I would recommend people keep it a little more high level, focus more on the benefits, and how it's going to basically make their lives or their, the people they're helping, their lives better, instead of focusing on, how mining works, for example, right? You don't need to really get into those weeds unless they're really asking about it. So I would say, try to explain it from that lens. But the other thing too, I think is, because people get really excited when they start learning about cryptocurrency and blockchain, people have a tendency, I think, to overuse blockchain actually, where they want to use blockchain for everything. So I would just be careful that, try not to use it for everything. It's great for some use cases and not great for others. So just kind of keep that in mind, that it's not a solution for everything.
Sure, sure. And Shang?
Yeah, so again, from our side, I think that where we find challenges with sort of blockchain and the applications of blockchain-enabled technology, often our sort of maybe global or headquarters teams have a good understanding of the applications, but how that translates then to the country where we are implementing programs and then further out to the field offices, it becomes increasingly difficult in terms of really people understanding the technology and how to apply the technology in the design of, humanitarian programming. So there's still quite a lot of work there, probably to Alex's point of education and furthering that education a little bit further down the user chain, as it were.
Thank you, Shang. Just like a additional question to the Alex, you said like for the blockchain, kind of these words are also overdosed in some of the area. Could you like share some of your experience? You think that like some of the use cases are not that positive? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm speaking to on that is, often when you're implementing a blockchain pilot or something in your operations, it might be, let's say 20 or 30% blockchain powered and the rest more traditional technologies. So all I mean is that not everything needs to be blockchain for it to bring a lot of the benefits that it can bring. So that's the only point I was getting to.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And yeah, I believe maybe in this kind of challenge, we also need cross-border collaborations to share some of our experience in how we tackle the challenge together, because it's a blockchain combined with philanthropy. I know all of ours are the forerunners in this industry, and we should share have more knowledge there and help each other. Yeah. And it is also, we all know there is a financing gap to achieving the SDG in the developing countries. That is estimated to be $2.5 to $3 trillion invested per year. So I'm wondering, what is the potential do you see in a blockchain powered philanthropy can contribute to that? And shall we start from Shang?
Yeah, so I mean, from my side, we all recognize the huge opportunity and the potential to bring this technology and how it can help reduce transaction costs, how it can really enable greater real-time provision of support and meet the immediate needs in real time. And everybody appreciates the transparency and the audit trails of this technology. However, I think we need to keep in mind, certainly when it's around philanthropy and the SDGs and working with really the poor and the vulnerable, there are some constraints there, right? Clearly, still we have challenges around how do the end users and those at the end access the internet? Is the internet sufficiently, strong? The presence of smartphones and the sort of ability of the smartphones and the wallet compatibility and the applications to those smartphones. I think we still have a lot of work around digital literacy of the users along the chain. Again, Alex talked a little bit about that within the organizations, but also with those who are going to benefit from receiving the support and the funding. And then we've also, had some challenges with the vendor onboarding. So there are pieces and parts of the complicated puzzle where there's going to be additional sort of challenges around education and making sure people have the right skills and abilities. Having said that, we had a pretty successful pilot with the Blockchain Charity Foundation in Uganda. We targeted about 2,200 individuals over about an 8-month program, and we were able to distribute tokens 4 times to distribute tokens to help those 2,200 individuals, approximately almost 400 households were able to then receive immediate humanitarian needs. So that's just a small window into the potential. Definitely gave both ourselves and sort of the Blockchain Charity Foundation a good set of lessons learned, what was good and where are there things to work on. And we certainly see huge potential for future expansion.
Sure, sure. Thank you very much. And Alex,
Sure.
what do you think?
Yeah. So I think from the funding perspective, there's of course kind of the lens of the crypto donations that we're already seeing, and we've already seen that the crypto community as a whole has been pretty generous. Millions and millions of dollars getting donated every year, and I'm sure it's not long before that becomes billions. If the crypto industry grows like we all hope it will, right? It won't, hopefully won't be too long until it's a multi-trillion-dollar asset class. And as the industry grows, I think we'll see sort of the funding opportunities grow as well. Because this is a growing industry. I mean, there's no doubt about it that there's going to be more and more wealthy people in the industry, successful companies that'll be looking to help fund some of these SDGs. So I think we've certainly got to keep an eye on it, but I'm hopeful that we'll have a lot of funding coming from this industry.
Thank you, Alex. Mike?
Yeah, sure. And I think blockchain can contribute to three sections. So first, of course, donation is very important to develop base infrastructure. We need to keep supporting through donations. And second, I think supporting new businesses from developing countries is also very important. And nowadays, thanks to the global blockchain payment system, it has become easier to raise funds from all over the world. But to think about micro investment, an important point is how to judge the people. Then blockchain can contribute to providing a cross-border credit system. The credit history and digital ID based on blockchain will support many investors and banks to judge whether their customers are trustable or not. So yes, and in this type, credit means not only money flow, but also including the proof of career, scholarship, and many other things related to digital ID. So important thing is blockchain also help simplify cross-border due diligence. And third, from my experience, in the current capitalism system, it is very difficult to balance economy and social activities. So for example, working for global climate change, working to clean the environment is very important, right? But usually these activities don't make profit. So many activities need to earn money from somewhere else or need to get grants. I saw many passionate people who devote their life to social activities become more and more poor, and it becomes difficult to keep daily life. And I think blockchain-based innovative incentive systems have the potential to engage people to solve social problems.
Thank you very much, Mike. That is a very good point. And for Sean, I have an additional question. Like, as you know, like we promote blockchain technology integrate with the philanthropy. The most important thing is to the 100 transparency. So all of the funds, the transactions can be seen on the chain. And I know for some of the developing countries, like corruption, some of the middlemen are like in the charity, there might be some of that issues happen. So are you seeing like if we're using blockchain in the developing countries combined with philanthropy, are you seeing those issues are reducing? So what kind of the change are happening now?
Yeah, I mean, I think to be honest, we're still at a nascent early stage of the adoption of the technology. But one of the big reasons why to embrace and enable the use of this technology is the recognition around the transparency, the accountability, and the audit trail that comes with blockchain. So, the sector as a whole is very aware of the opportunity and the added value of using blockchain technology. And certainly from our own pilot in West Nile, Uganda, it was appreciated in terms of the real-time transactions. You can remove many of the middlemen in your processes of distributing, cash or support to vulnerable and poor people. And the ability to identify and track how the money was moving and what it was being used for was certainly very helpful, and allows us to then think about, future programming and what we learn and how we continue to do better programming that is more appropriate and provides really the needs to the people who we're trying to serve.
Thank you very much, Sean. And also, Alex, since I saw your platform also have onboarded so many NGOs that they've accepting cryptos now, how do they think about accepting the donation from the crypto? Do they also have the 100? Do they also think it's a 100 transparency, like integrate in their funding process? What's their attitude to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think now, since it's still pretty early, they're still thinking about this as a way to, engage with the new donor demographic and diversify their revenue. And I think right now they're thinking about it more from the fundraising perspective than the transparency perspective. I think the transparency perspective is kind of stage 2, once they've gotten a little more comfortable with the idea of cryptocurrency. So right now our focus has really been on getting them more connected and plugged into the cryptocurrency industry, with different corporate partners like Brave and Gemini, and hopefully Binance as well soon. So yeah, we're trying to help them have those relationships and start kind of building that bridge between the two communities, so that they can kind of take things a step further and work on some more of these transparency related initiatives.
Cool. Thank you very much. So thank you so much for joining this great panel. Thank you, Sean, Alex, and Mai. It's our honor to have you here. And many thanks for our audience for your participation. I hope you really enjoy it. And also the final thing is to say happy 3rd anniversary for Binance. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.